What's up, everybody? My name is Carney Hobo, and hope you have a beautiful day today. Today, I am here with Togevoir, coach of the Arizona Carbonas.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Togevoir or Chris. Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, you are here. Congratulations. I was hoping that you didn't get
Dude,
lost.
Thanks, man. It took a lot.
I mean, like, I text you the address, and then, you know, it's, man, thank God for Google Maps. So how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. So, you know, Tog, I just want to know exactly, but what type of food do you like to eat?
Well, you know, here's the thing. If you really want to know, I have a good friend. His name is Merc. Go follow him on Twitter, Mr. Mercro. His profile picture is me in my natural habitat. At this point, it would be amazing if Carney could edit in that picture. I can send it to you after this. But that's all it is, right there. It's that you know, it's that green juice that keeps me going all day.
Oh man, that's groovy, brah. Groovy. Alright, so let's talk about your draft. Now, your draft is a very cool draft. I freaking love this draft. And it looks like you take inspiration from a lot of different drafters. But let's talk about the mindset that went through this draft. And why did you pick mods? And yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, in past, I've been known to draft fairly offensive teams that have relied more on defensive checks than anything else as far as switch-ins go. But this season I wanted to take a different approach, as that has gotten me third place consecutively in my last 4 seasons of league play, and I can't take those L's anymore. So I wanted to go for a much more balanced play style. It's still borderline bulky offense, which is my preferred play style, but it just does have a little bit more bulk and utility options than my teams usually have, and that's seen with my, you know, what I really think is a really nice Fairy Poison Steel Core, which I think is actually less talked about, but just as good as a Fairy Dragon Steel Core as far as how its resistances line up. And that can be seen through Mega Venusaur, Clefable, and Bronzong. And overall, I don't know, it's something very different than what I usually draft. It's kind of like a mix of fast, hard-hitting Bonds and then walls. But the one thing I do like about my team, and something that will be almost always true about my drafts, is I try to draft almost no passive Pokemon. And I think that's true. I don't think there's not a single Pokemon on my team that's easy setup fodder, which is something I always like to make sure I have, because I think that's the easiest way to abuse a team to win in draft format. But overall, I feel very good about it.
Yeah, that's great. So, what do you feel that is your best mon that you drafted in this draft? Like, what was the best steal that you got?
Well, I kind of think it's Minior, which was my last pick of the draft, coming in at number 11, but really I think an underrated mon, and is probably up there for the best Shell Smasher in the game that's actually legal, behind Cloyster. You know, its the ability, for those of you who don't know, in Gen 7, it cannot be statused in its original form, and its defenses are at base 100 until it transforms to have base 100 offenses and base 120 speed. And so I think because of that, it can be a very underrated but powerful threat for my team, and something that I'm really looking forward to using and innovating with this season.
Is there any mons on your team that you feel like were like, I really wish I waited to pick this mon because I could have got something better? Or is there anything like that on your team?
I don't know. I mean, there were some things, maybe, it wasn't necessarily a value pick, but I debated Dragonite over Haxorus as my 9th round pick. I opted for Haxorus because of its higher base speed, and it gave me a speed tier that my team previously lacked, which I liked, and Dragonite did not give me that. I have some back and forth whether or not that was the correct pick. Only hindsight will tell. But as far as just like waiting to pick up anything, I don't see anything egregious on my team. I think the one thing maybe was Bronzong, but my team desperately needed a skill type, which Bronzong gave for me, and a solid Stealth Rockers. I didn't have one before. And so I think securing that with the 8th pick, I don't really think it was much of a reach. And I don't really, if anything, I think I got some insane value with picking up Gothitelle and Lucario rounds 5 and 6. I didn't expect those Pokemon to be able to fall to me that late in the draft at all. So it's just like pure value-wise, I don't have any problems with any of my picks.
Yeah, I mean, most of your picks are pretty good. I do enjoy, well, you don't have a grass type, barring Mega Venusaur, which is definitely one of my favorite grass types out there. But that's me personally, so whatever. But I do want to talk about Week 1 matchup versus your older brother, Mr. Sharpedo.
Don't want to talk about it.
I mean,
yeah, Carvana Sharpedo's, nice inter-evolution line matchup right there, getting all the hype behind it. But no, in all seriousness, I played Gypsy 3 times last season, and because
each time you got tossed, so...
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I think our semifinals game was if I clicked Dark Pulse, or if I clicked Fire Punch on the Weavile, that could have been my game fairly easily, so that's pretty up in the air, and so I don't know. But I definitely feel like I am capable of giving Gypsy a run for his money, as I feel like I have in the past. And I think this year, overall, I have a better team, and maybe a slightly better team matchup. I mean, obviously, you'll tell when Week 1 happens, but I don't know. I feel more confident this time than I had before. I'm more comfortable with this team than I was my team last season, and I'm more comfortable in the matchup, for sure. I think the scariest thing about Gypsy is just how good he is at every single turn making the correct play, and it's almost impossible to get a step ahead of him, so that's definitely going to be the most challenging part. Even though building will be challenging, I think making sure that I stay straight and don't make a single mistake in the game will be the hardest part for me.
Yeah. So building especially. So how are you currently prepping for Miss Gypsy, basically? Are you going outside, riding a bike? Like what is your mental / physical?
Honestly,
prepping?
right now at this stage in the game, it's pretty early. So honestly, I got all my Pokemon in the classroom. They're all just out there. They're taking notes. I'm giving them lectures about what to prepare for, so they know when they're on the field what kind of tricks they might expect from the legend himself.
Oh, okay. So you got them in the locker room right now, going through the playbook. All right.
We're sketching up. We're up on the whiteboard right now. It's all theory based right now, because I think honestly, and that kind of just goes to my philosophy in general about draft, that you won't be able to play a good game unless you have a good team, and that's going to take a lot of studying of the matchup and knowing pretty much every single contingency that can happen in any single one-on-one matchup between 2 Pokemon on your team and your opponent's team.
So, looking a little bit past Week 1 and everything else, let's talk about matchups that you feel like you have in favor, and matchups that you don't feel like you're in favor with the rest of the league, basically.
Well, I think the first matchup that catches my eye as particularly terrifying is actually Anthony Zazo, Iron Flash Gaming as Detroit Butterfree. I struggle with a lot of the Pokemon in his team, and he's someone else. I played multiple times of playing him last season three times in the CPC, so different league. And definitely a league that didn't have all my focus for most of the season, but again, a very skilled player who's beaten me narrowly a couple times in important games, and he's just got some big threats for my team, so that's something to watch out for. A game that I'm looking forward to this season is definitely versus my man Jolt. I'm really hoping that I'm able to beat him by not seeing an air balloon for the second season in a row, or beating him with an air balloon on my own. That's like a personal ambition right there.
But anyways, you have the Lucario. You're ready.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to bring it back on him. But I don't know. I think it's a very scary matchup on both sides, as I think overall both of our offense has a lot for each other's defense. So I think it'll be a very interesting game, and not something that I'm necessarily confident about, but something that I am definitely looking forward to, as he is one of my favorite people to play in the format.
Alrighty, hey. Far good by me. So, just real quick, about the Iron Flash Gaming or the Detroit Butterfrees matchup, are you kind of scared that Gypsy passed on the torch of the undefeated Mon to Zazo?
Well, the Fist God himself is always a threat. I had no counters last season. That's honestly why I lost Week 5. I had nothing for my man Stunfisk, so honestly, this season, I'm going to be disappointed if he doesn't manage to 6-0 me with it.
To 6-0 you with it. Ooh, bold predictions already. Alright. I'm liking it a lot. So, Toad, real quick, just a little off topic, not about the teams or anything about that, but is there any type of Mon that you kind of wanted to draft, or any Mon that got sniped from you?
Yeah, that's one Mon in particular, and this goes out to my least favorite person, who I've already mentioned in this interview, and that would be my man, Mr. Murkrow Merc. You know, he took Mantine from me. I didn't have a water type at the point in the draft when I wanted it. For those of you who don't know, again, with the Gen 7 buffs, I'm assuming most of you do, but, you know, Mantine got a huge buff this generation with the boosted HP stat, as well as now getting Roost, and has always been a solid defogger in the lower tiers. So with that access to reliable recovery and the amazing special defense it has, as well as like a manageable or usable defense stat, I was really sad not to get it, and I think it would have been really nice with my team, especially considering I had Thunderous T as an immunity to its main weakness. But alas, it happens, and I was still able to pick up Tentacruel, which I think is a very solid Pokemon in the format. That was definitely my biggest snipe. Up until that point, there wasn't any big snipes, besides possibly when Poking D and the Bronze Bear Chicks, when they picked up Porygon 2, that same round actually, as the same round as Mantine went, I was pretty sad because I used Porygon 2 last year, and it was a Pokemon I had a lot of fun with, and I think is one of the top Mons in the format, and also one of the most underrated Pokemon in the format, so that was kind of sad too. But aside from that, pretty much everything went to my plan as much as I wanted it to, and I even managed to get my hands on things that I did not expect, like Gothitelle and Lucario, so I'm very excited overall.
Alright, so I'm going to be asking you the hardest question that I've asked everybody in this interviewing process so far, and that is, why do you, Togevoir, aka the coach of the Arizona Cardenas, aka Mr. Venusaur, Clefable, bulky offensive man, aka the Minior shell smashing god, why do you believe that you are the next champion of the NPL?
Because here's the thing.
Right.
This year I have refined and improved my research on how to cultivate the best berries possible. And I think honestly this year it's gotten me to 3rd place 3 consecutive seasons in the NPL, and I really think this year it's going to take it home. I think berry bulky offense will run train through the season.
Berry,
I think overall,
berry bulky offense?
Very bulky offense.
Berry, okay. I like it.
That's what it's all about up here. So, you know, I'm really excited for the season overall. And I don't, there's not like anything super specific, except this is probably the most confident after a draft that I have felt in my own capability with the team I have drafted, despite that this is for sure the most challenging lineup of the NPL has ever seen, and honestly one of the most challenging lineups I think any league has ever seen. So it'll be a tough season regardless. So yeah, but I think I can pull it out this season.
Alrighty, hey, well, that looks like that's going to conclude our interview. Real quick, is there anyone that you want to call out? Maybe your mom, you know, give a little shout out to your mama, maybe to your sister, like, I don't know, like, you got anyone you want to say I love you to?
Well,
like
honestly, I'm just in a thankful mood right now. I want to give a big shout out to my man Kyle, aka K2, the founder of the NPL, for essentially inviting me to play in a league when I had no channel, no league experience, nothing at all. All he knew was that I was a mediocre player with a lot of enthusiasm to play the game. And had he not given me that opportunity, I wouldn't be here today. And so that, I'm eternally grateful. I love you, man.
Alrighty, and that's going to be concluding our interview with Togevoir and the Arizona Cardenas. So guys, make sure to go check out his channel. Make sure to go check out his opponent's channel, which will definitely be in the description below. So, yeah, guys, it's going to be a beautiful, heated Week 1 match, and hopefully you guys are having a beautiful day today. Oh my lord, it's going to be so much fun. Man, so, any last words real quick before we say goodbye?
Someone subbed me so I can get 200 subs. Like, goddamn it.
Alright, yeah. Heart and love, and hope to see you guys soon, alright? My name is Connor Hill. Goodbye. Alright.